Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today I'm going to tell you why I think the newly traded for cornerback, Marshon Lattimore here for the Washington Commanders, is going to completely change the dynamic of this football team for the rest of the season and why he may propel this team into Super Bowl contention once we get into January. Before we get into today's content, make sure you guys go down there in the comments section and let me know. Are the Commanders legit title contenders now that they have Marshon Lattimore? Give me a yes or no. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments section. So let's start here with the newest Commander, Marshon Lattimore. He's been a lockdown #1 corner for a very long time in the National Football League. 28 years old, so he's not young, but he's not necessarily old or out of his prime yet. He does bring good size to the table at 6 foot, 192 pounds. He's been a 4-time Pro Bowler, but hasn't been a Pro Bowler since 2021. That's worth noting. Then also hasn't allowed a touchdown in single coverage since 2021. So this guy is a man specialist, and they went out and they paid a little bit to go get Marshon Lattimore yesterday before the trade deadline, trading a 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th-round pick in next year's NFL draft, along with a 5th-round pick back to the Commanders to land Marshon Lattimore with the burgundy and gold for the rest of this season. And they are slated to keep him here for the next 2 years as well. Now, if Marshon stinks the rest of the year, none of this money in 2025 or 2026 is guaranteed. So this could be a 1-year rental if the Commanders want to make it that way, but giving up a day 2 draft pick, right? Giving up another 4th-round pick and another 6th-round pick there lets me know that I think the Commanders think this is going to be their #1 corner for the next 3 years. And if they do keep him, the cap hits are going to be at $18 and $18.5 million over the next 2 years. But here in 2024, you're not really paying him anything. It's less than $1 million, which is absolutely fantastic. And still, the Commanders have a bunch of cap space to work with that can still roll over into future seasons. So Adam Peters, I think, really did a good job with the structure of this trade and what they're ended up paying Lattimore for this season. So you take a look at my scouting report for Marshon Lattimore here. The pros it's a long list, all right? Very good in man coverage, really good specifically in press coverage, very physical player, okay? That is Marshon Lattimore's bag. Also very fast player, ran in the 4.3s when he was coming out of college. Also very physical run defender, so he's not gonna be a liability in that part of the game like cough, Emmanuel Forbes has been. And then also zone defense is a strength of his as well. So he's not just a man corner. If you want to put him in zone, he's got great instincts in there as well. The cons are, though, the injury concerns, where even though he is a legit #1 corner, hasn't been on the field all that much, particularly over the last 3 seasons where he has dealt with injuries. He's already missed 2 games here in 2024. He missed 7 games last year in 2023, and then missed a whopping 10 games in 2022. Before that, there were some scattered injuries here or there, but specifically over the last 3 seasons here, the injury bug has bitten Marshon Lattimore a little bit here, including this year where he has dealt with a hamstring injury. He did not play in last week's game versus the Panthers when he was still with the New Orleans Saints. So it's still kind of up in the air, I guess, that he could maybe not play against the Steelers here in Week 10. But honestly, I think he's going to be suiting up, and I think he's going to be going up against George Pickens in a big-time matchup for you guys to be watching out for on Sunday. So coming up here on the Commanders Report, why this is huge for Washington, why adding this player specifically, I think is going to make this defense and make this team as a whole more well-rounded and more suited to make a run come the NFL playoffs. But before we get into the rest of today's show, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And guys, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch. So if you guys want to go see more football games live this year, all you guys got to do is download the Game Time app today and use their brand new feature called Game Time Picks, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And the best part, guys, it's all 100% free. Okay, so download the Game Time app, find an event you want to go see, and you select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen for Game Time to automatically filter through their entire database of tickets for that event to find you the best tickets with the best seats at the best prices for the best deals for you and your family. And what I love about using the Game Time app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event, all-in pricing so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. So here are 4 ways I think that Marshon Lattimore's presence impacts the Commanders in a very positive way. Number 1, you can handle number 1 receivers better, okay? Before, the Commanders did not have a number 1 corner. And if you don't have a number 1 corner, it's very difficult to manage going up against legit number 1 receivers. So you still have to face A.J. Brown and the Eagles twice this season, all right? You got a guy in George Pickens in the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. That's a very tough receiver to guard as well. And we saw it earlier in this season when you go up against guys like Zay Flowers and how these guys can just have massive days going up against guys like Mike Sainristil and going up against guys like Benjamin St-Juste. So now that you have a guy in Marshon Lattimore that you can trust in one-on-one coverage with those number 1 receivers, that opens up a lot of possibilities for the Washington Commanders. And then another thing here is that it propels the other cornerbacks in this room to kind of play roles that are more suited to their strengths and more suited to their talent level. Benjamin St-Juste, he's a fine starting corner on the outside. All right, he's long, he's big, he's physical, but he's not necessarily super fast and he's not super shifty. So he's not somebody that's going to be able to go up against the best of the best week in and week out. But as a number 2 corner on the outside, I think his skill set is a lot more suited to that. Mike Sainristil is also much more suited as a player to play in the slot. Now, I think he's done a pretty good job playing on the outside as of late, but now that you can interject Marshon Lattimore on the outside, I think this configuration of the cornerback room is a lot more balanced and a lot better overall for this team going down the stretch. Also, the run defense, I think, is going to improve. Not only because Marshon himself is a very physical tackler and very reliable tackler on the perimeter, but also because you can have him in one-on-one coverage, that allows the Commanders to not play so much off coverage with their corners. They've been doing that a lot this year to try to keep a lid on opposing offenses and kind of limit the deep passing game. But now you can move some guys up. You can move Jeremy Chin up into the box a little bit more. You can play more single high coverages, which is going to help this team's ability to defend the run, something that this Commanders defense has not done a very good job of this year. They're currently ranked 30th in yards per carry allowed. With Marshon Lattimore's presence in there, it should help out a little bit. Then the final thing here is I just think you're going to have a more balanced roster and a more balanced defense, all right? We already know how great this Commanders offense is, man. It is absolutely fantastic. The issue at times has been the defense. And now that you fixed the main issue with the defense, which was the secondary, it's going to fix a lot of things about not only the defensive unit, but just the team as a whole. And I think it makes this team a lot more competitive as we go down the home stretch here. And honestly, I think you can potentially even make an argument that this is going to be a team down the stretch that is going to compete for a Lombardi trophy here and really be, especially in a weak NFC this year. I mean, you got the Detroit Lions, and then who else do you really have? You know, there's warts with a bunch of these top NFC teams right now. And honestly, the Washington Commanders, you can make a very solid argument based on where they are on paper right now. They are the second best team in the National Football League, and we all know the Detroit Lions' history in the postseason, okay? Now, with that said, I will say NFL history does suggest, teams that have a rookie quarterback or even a first-year starter for that team, and then also a first-year head coach, they might make the playoffs, but they're usually not winning multiple playoff games. So listen, man, the history is probably not on the side of this year's Commanders team, but at least they're going for it. At least they're making a move here to try to complete this roster, balance out this roster a little bit so that they have the opportunity to make some history here in the National Football League. And this absolutely could be an outlier group. All right, just because it hasn't happened before doesn't mean it can't happen or it's impossible. Okay, you look at a guy like Jaden Daniels, he's having arguably the best rookie season of any rookie quarterback in the history of the National Football League. He is certainly an outlier. So if any team led by a rookie quarterback is going to be an outlier in the postseason, it's probably going to be a team led by a quarterback like Jaden Daniels. So listen, man, I'm never somebody If you would have told me back in the offseason that I'd be coming on this show saying that this team that was rebuilding was going to be a legit title contender in the NFC East this year, I probably would have said, let's pump the brakes a little bit. We got a rookie quarterback and a first-year head coach. But, man, Dan Quinn has really established the culture quickly. Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels have the offense humming. And now Marshon Lattimore is going to be kind of that cherry on top for this defense. It's going to allow this team to really play a well-balanced brand of football down the stretch. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comments section. The Commanders are the blank best team in the NFL right now. Personally, I think that they're, kind of hovering around the top 5 area right there. Let me know what you guys are thinking down there in the comments section. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we got free Commanders content right here on YouTube every single day. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already to join the Commanders Report family today.